Hey there, it's CJ Willie, and I'm back with episode number 7, and let's talk about 1984 Donruss. If you haven't watched episodes 1 through 6, you can check them out by clicking on the links in the description below. You can also find them on my channel under the playlist, Let's Talk About Baseball. In today's episode, I pick up from where I left off in episode number 6 by covering the next 50 cards in the set numbered 261 to 310. Included in today's spotlight are 4 Hall of Famers, a potential Hall of Fame manager, and 2 superstars looking for Veterans Committee consideration. All right, let's get started. Rupert Jones, nicknamed Roop by his teammates, Jones was named to the American League All-Star Team in 1977 as a member of the Mariners and to the National League All-Star Team in 1982 as a member of the Padres. Tracy Jones. Gerald Perry, known more as a pinch hitter extraordinaire, Perry was named to the National League All-Star Team in 1988 as the Braves starting first baseman. Perry's uncle Dan Dreesen was a longtime infielder for the Reds, Expos, and Giants. Gene Tenace. Steamboat was the starting catcher for the dominant Oakland A's teams of the 1970s. Tenace was named to the American League All-Star Team in 1977. He won 4 World Series rings, with his last ring coming in 1982 as a member of my St. Louis Cardinals. Is he winking at everyone who bought this card? Brad Wellman. Dickie Knowles. Very unusual card by Donruss. Most of the time there's a ton of career highlights. The only career highlight for Dickie Knowles was spent nearly 2 months of 1983 season on the disabled list. That was the best career highlight they could come up with. Jamie Allen. Jim Gott has an uncorrected error on the back of his card. It says that he spent 5 major league seasons with the Cardinals. He actually spent 5 minor league seasons with the Cardinals before making his major league appearance with the Blue Jays in 1982. Ron Davis, he was the Twins closer from 1982 through 1985. He was named to the American League All-Star Team in 1981 as a member of the Yankees. His son, Ike Davis, played first base for the Mets, Pirates, and A's during the 2010s. He's another member of the white-paneled Van Gang. Benny Ayala. Ned Yost spent 6 years in the big leagues as a backup catcher. He is better known as the manager of the Royals, where he led them to back-to-back World Series appearances, including winning the title in 2015. Dave Rozema. Dave Stapleton. Lou Piniella. Sweet Lou was the 1969 American League Rookie of the Year as a member of the Royals. He was named to his only All-Star team in 1972. His playing career is outshined by his managerial career. Over 23 years as a manager, Piniella won 1,835 games, including a World Series title with the 1990 Cincinnati Reds. I think Piniella deserves some Hall of Fame consideration based upon his managerial accolades. Jose Morales. Broad Perkins. Although he may have gone by Broad, most of his cards refer to him using his full first name of Broderick. Butch Davis. Tony Phillips was a leadoff hitter for the A's and Tigers over his 18-year career in the big leagues. He led the American League in walks twice and runs once, finished his career with 2,023 hits, 1,300 runs, and 360 doubles. Jeff Reardon. Terminator was the closer for the Expos, Twins, and Red Sox during the 1980s. He was named to 4 All-Star teams and led the National League in saves in 1985. Reardon finished his 16-year career with 367 saves. Ken Forsch made his only All-Star team in 1981 as a member of the California Angels. Along with his brother Bob, he is part of Major League Baseball history as the only brothers to throw no-hitters. Pete O'Brien hit his first home run off Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry. Tom Paciorek has an unusual but funny baseball nickname. Wimpy was named to the 1981 American League All-Star Team as a member of the Seattle Mariners. Frank LaCourte. Tim Lawler, with a very unusual look on his face. And look at his teeth. I don't know if that's tobacco, but they look pretty black. Greg Gross finished second in the 1974 National League Rookie of the Year race as a member of the Houston Astros. He is the second member of the white-paneled Van Gang in this episode. Alex Trevino. Gene Garber was the closer for the Phillies and Braves during his 19-year career. Upon retiring in 1988, Garber compiled 218 career saves. Dave Parker. Cobra was a dominant force as an outfielder for the Pirates and Reds during the 1970s and 1980s. He was named to 7 All-Star teams, won 3 Gold Gloves, and 3 Silver Slugger Awards. Parker won the MVP award in 1978 and finished in the top 5 in MVP voting 4 other times. He definitely deserves a closer look from the Veterans Committee for Hall of Fame inclusion based upon that Cobra stare alone. Lee Smith was part of the evolution of the modern-day closer, transitioning from the multi-innings closer role of the 1980s into the 9th-inning role of current closer duties. Smith compiled 478 saves over his 18-year career with 8 different teams, culminating with his induction to the Hall of Fame in 2019 by the Veterans Committee. Dave LaPointe. As a rookie in 1982, LaPointe won his only World Series start against the Brewers, helping my Cardinals take home the World Series trophy. John Shelby. As a platoon outfielder, Shelby helped the Baltimore Orioles win the 1983 World Series. His nephew, Josh Harrison, is an infielder with the Chicago White Sox. Charlie Moore. Alan Trammell spent his entire 20-year career with the Detroit Tigers. He was named to 6 American League All-Star teams, won 4 Gold Gloves, and 3 Silver Slugger Awards, as well as finishing in the top 10 in MVP voting 3 times. Trammell was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2018 through the Veterans Committee, although in my opinion, he should have been inducted by the writers. Tony Armas had a monster year for the Red Sox in 1984 by leading the American League with 43 home runs and 123 RBI. He was named to the American League All-Star team in 1981 and 1984. His brother Marcos had a brief stint with the A's in 1993. His son Tony Armas Jr. was a starting pitcher with the Expos during the 2000s. Shane Rawley was named to the 1986 National League All-Star squad as a member of the Phillies. Greg Brock. Hal McRae, a 3-time All-Star outfielder, McRae spent the majority of his 19-year career with the Kansas City Royals. He finished his career with a .290 batting average, 2,091 hits, 940 runs, and 484 doubles. He was also a big league manager, leading the Royals for 4 years during the early 1990s and for a couple years in the early 2000s with the Tampa Bay Rays. His son Brian was an outfielder with the Royals, Cubs, and Mets during the 1990s. Mike Davis. Tim Raines. While Rickey Henderson was terrorizing the American League, Rock was doing the same in the National League. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017, Raines finished his 23-year career with a .294 batting average, 2,605 hits, 1,571 runs, and 808 stolen bases. He was named to 7 All-Star teams and finished in the top 10 in MVP voting 3 times. His son, Tim Raines Jr., was an outfielder for the Orioles in the early 2000s. Bucky Dent, better known as a curse word to Red Sox fans, was a 3-time All-Star with the White Sox in 1975, with the Yankees in 1980 and 1981. He is most famously remembered for the home run against the Red Sox that led the Yankees to surpassing them for the American League East title in 1978. Tommy John. Aside from having a career-saving arm surgery named after him, John had a Hall of Fame caliber career. Over a 26-year career, he won 288 games, compiled a 3.34 ERA, 2,245 strikeouts, 162 complete games, a full season worth of complete games, and 46 shutouts. He was named to 4 All-Star teams and finished in the top 10 in Cy Young Award voting 4 times. The Veterans Committee needs to induct Tommy John into the Hall of Fame. Carlton Fisk, regarded as one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball history, Pudge was named to 11 All-Star teams, won the 1972 American League Rookie of the Year award, and finished in the top 10 in MVP voting 4 times. He finished his 24-year career with 376 home runs, 1,330 RBI, and 2,356 hits. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2000. Darrell Porter, a red glasses-wearing catcher, was a 4-time All-Star with the Milwaukee Brewers and the Kansas City Royals during the 1970s. He was an integral part of my St. Louis Cardinals World Championship team in 1982. Dickie Thon, fresh off his great season in 1983, which saw him named to the National League All-Star team, win a Gold Glove, and finish 7th in the MVP voting, Thon was hit in the face by a pitch early in the 1984 season that impacted his vision and threatened his career. He did make it back to the big leagues in 1985 and played for a few more years, but was never the same player. Gary Maddox, nicknamed the Secretary of Defense, Maddox was an 8-time Gold Glove winning center fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. Cesar Cedeno, the early part of Cedeno's career appeared to have him on Hall of Fame trajectory. Within the first 7 years of his career, Cedeno was named to 4 All-Star teams, won 5 Gold Glove awards, led the league in doubles twice, and garnered MVP votes. However, his offensive and defensive prowess slumped badly in 1978, and he became a part-time player for the remainder of his career. Gary Lucas. Johnny Ray finished 2nd in the National League Rookie of the Year voting in 1982. He led the National League in doubles in back-to-back years in 1983 and 1984. He was named to his only All-Star team in 1988 as a member of the California Angels. Andy McGaffigan. Claudell Washington ends out this episode. In his second big league season, Washington was named to the 1975 American League All-Star team as a member of the Oakland A's. He would make the National League All-Star team in 1984 while playing with the Braves. Washington's pencil-thin mustache contributes to the mustache count for this episode, which comes in at 22 lip toupees. Well, that does it for episode number 7. Tune in next time for episode number 8, when I'll talk about 4 more Hall of Famers, another superstar looking for Veterans Committee consideration, and one of my favorite St. Louis Cardinals of the 1980s. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, please click on that thumbs up button and share this episode with your friends. Make sure to subscribe and update the notification icon to catch episode number 8 of Let's Talk About 1984 Donruss. Thanks for watching.